wheezing. Hello, I'm wheezing. I'm late. I'm sorry. I have a lot to cover today. I have some stamping with that cute little Way to Goat set. I told you I couldn't put it away. I was having so much fun with it. Now my camera's trying to attack me here. Hello, Cindy. How are you? At the end of everyone, and generally during the my videos, I always ask people what they want to see. So Colleen, thank you, said she wanted to see how I deal with the new delicate dies. Some of them, the dies are so ornate, and we're talking about the Ornate Dies, and how I get all the little pieces out and that kind of stuff. So I have a couple of tips that I will go over with you for that. And then I'm going to stamp a card and we're going to do some masking. So that was kind of fun. So some of it I have pre-stamped ahead of time. If you're joining me, let me know. I kind of have a mess here, so I might be a little bit wild here today, kind of all over the place. So bear with me because I'm running a little late. So I'm going to turn the camera around. Happy Tuesday. It is a happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday. It's a beautiful day out. It's like it says 68 degrees. I think it's warmer than that. But anyhow, sun is shining. It's a good day. It's a beautiful day. So we're trying to enjoy it. I am going to turn the camera around, and if you're here, let me know you're here. Colleen, I hope you're watching because the first part is for you. And if not, if you're watching later, let me know that too. Hey, guess what? I'm really excited. We're up to 160 people on the YouTube channel. So yay, thank you to everybody for subscribing to the YouTube channel. It's so exciting for me to watch that number climb. So here we go. I'm going to turn the camera around now. I said that before, but I'm going to really do it this time. And then we'll get started. I'm going to show you some tools. I'm going to show you what I do on some of these ornate dies, and hopefully that'll help you. So here we go. Turn the camera around. Ta-da, ta-da. Slowly, so there's all my mess. Look at that. Oh, my goodness sakes. Yeah, I have a mess. It's just how it is. There we go. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger, maybe. Woo, a little bit bigger. There we go. Okay, that's good. So, the question was, what do you do with some of these dies that are so ornate? Case in point, these ornate layer dies. Absolutely breathtakingly beautiful. Lots of little pieces you can see. Lots of pieces in there. So what do you do? First of all, what I do is I use, we have what's called a pickup tool. I somewhere on my desk, I have the top to this. So this is our pickup tool from Stampin' Up. One end has a putty end, so you can pick up pieces. You've seen me use that. One end has a poker, and this has a little lock here on the end. And hi Trudy, and you turn that, and then it has like a spatula end. That's very narrow, see that? So you can do either one, right? Or you can put in, if you're scoring, there's a ball for thin scoring. Hi Chris, welcome. Or a larger scoring. And those, again, just lock in the end like that, okay? Now, what you can buy additionally to go along with that, and it's something that I use to get all the pieces out of my ornate dies, is this little brush. Okay, this brush comes like this. So it's a take your pick die brush. So you can buy the brush that goes with it. The take your pick tool is $10. And the brush, I believe, is with the two is $9. Okay, so it comes like this. So here's the brush. And then you get two rather firm pads that you're going to use to brush over it. So that's how it comes for $9. It's an accessory for the take your pick tool. And this accessory is on page 172 if you want to take a look in your book. I don't have to put that back. I'm going to go like this. So you take off the putty end. It just screws in. And then you just put your brush on it. There we go. And we are ready. Now, I wish that I had my new die cutter. I don't have that here yet, but, you know, it's ordered. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you a couple of tips. I'm going to bring my Big Shot over. Let's see if that's well loved, and what a mess it is. Oh, sign us up for Monday. I did. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so excited. So here is, these dies are so ornate. There's so many beautiful pieces. So this is what I do. When I'm doing these, take your cardstock, you put it on, and I usually have this at an angle, my whole piece. I usually go through it at an angle. Every Big Shot is going to cut a little bit different. Every one has different pressure points. So some people put it off to the side, whatever, but I just don't generally hit it straight on, okay? So I put it off to an angle. When it's this ornate, you may have to put a shim underneath. Every Big Shot is different, so that's one of the things that you can do. I do go over it a number of times before I take it out, right? So I went back and forth a number of times, and then when I take this off, I will usually lift this up. I'm going to lift it up, and I take a peek on the back side. So I can see, you can see that that is all cut through. You can see it. When it's not cut through, it's not as distinct. The lines won't be as distinct. So I do that, and then you can put it on your, where's my little, well, I'll take a new one because I don't know where I put them. Oh, right here. And then you put it on your little foam pad like this, okay? And then I take my brush and you just go over it. So, whoops. And that'll get a lot of the little pieces out right away. And it keeps your paper, your cardstock flat, right? So you're not bending it, but it will just pop out of there. Ta-da, ta-da. Like that. So then most of this is all...
I couldn't find the folder.
Most of this is all out here, just like this. So all of it comes out nice and fancy. Hi, Robin, I'm sorry. I just had a visitor.
She got her folder.
She came for her folder. So if you have any extra pieces that you need to, you can take your little poker tool here. There we go. And then just poke it. I put it down onto the foam and then I just poke it through. Now, if you like a mat that's a little bit firmer than this mat, we do sell this, the Stampin' Pierce mat. So for a while they took this off, but they brought it back. This one is a little denser. So if you would rather use that, you can get this. Here's the name of it. It's not in the book, so here's the number and here is the price. So if you're interested in having something a little bit denser, this is a foam, but this is just a bit denser, the Stampin' Piercing pad. So that's what I do. Now, if you still have problems with yours, what I would suggest is taking it, I'm going to move this off to the side here. I would suggest taking it and using wax paper. So I'm going to bring the Big Shot back over here, get all my pieces off of there. There we go. I'm going to bring it back. So a lot of the really super ornate dies, we will use, let's do a different one. Let's do this one. Wax paper on it. So instead of putting it down like that, I just take a piece of regular wax paper. You guys know I don't cook, so a lot of this stuff I use stamping, but I don't use it in my kitchen. There we go. I'm just going to take a piece of wax paper. I'm going to cut it up, just tear it, and put it between the die and the paper. So like the butterfly dies, we use the wax paper a lot when I did the butterfly dies because that's very ornate and lots of delicate little pieces. So you put the wax paper between the two, and then again, I would still run it through a couple of times. I do have this one straight on. I would normally kind of tilt it to the side. We'll see how it comes out. So I just went over it twice, and I'm going to pull this up. The wax paper just comes right off here. And sometimes it will stay in your, and then I'm going to turn it over. So looking at this, I can see that some of the pieces aren't quite, aren't gone through quite as much. So I'm going to put this back on my Big Shot. I'm going to line it up because you can kind of line it up in the grooves, right? And I'm going to put it in at an angle. Hello, Lourdes. I'm going to put it in at an angle, and then I'm going to cut this through again. So remember, I only went through twice, so I'm going to go 2 more times. Sometimes that wax paper will stay right in your die, which is kind of a little bonus because then you can just keep cutting. This time it came out, but it would come right in there. I'm going to move this over. So again, I will take my pad here and I'm just going to roll over it with this. And you can see they're just falling out. And I have that layer of wax paper on there. So you would have a fancy little wax paper cutout too. Let's see here. Now can't pull it up with my fingers. There we go. Ta-da. There. And all the pieces are just falling right out. So that is my tip for you. Put it in at an angle. If you're having difficulty, use wax paper, or you can put a shim underneath the layers to help it too. But I think this is much easier. And you see how nicely that came out. So, very pretty. These are gorgeous dies. So I don't want you to be afraid of using them because of the difficulty. You are going to have tons of little pieces, but look at how pretty that is. I mean, they're just lovely. So, ta-da, ta-da. Very nice. The Ornate Layer Dies, if you want to take a look at them, they're on page 177 of the annual catalog, $37. They are beautiful. Just beautiful. All right. So that's my little tip of the day, right? I'm going to get all my little pieces and throw them on the floor because I'll pick them up later. Clean up my placemat. Here we go. Got it nice and clean. Okay. Hello, Colleen. There you go. That's the tip for you, Colleen. Colleen asked and I provided. So remember that. I am here to help in any way that I can. Now I did a goat card and I decided I couldn't get enough of the goat. So here's the card I want to do today. So this goat card uses masking. The goat is absolutely the perfect size to use with Grace's Garden. So we're using the Way to Goat set. We're using Grace's Garden. And the verses are from Itty Bitty Birthdays. So I'm using 3 sets, these 3 sets today on this one card. Let's face it, we have a lot of sets where we can do multiples. You don't have to use just one set on each card. So what I'm going to talk about is when you do masking. So when you do masking, the one in the forefront, now these flowers are just added in and glued on top, right? But I wanted the goat to be in front of the fence. So to do that, I'm going to stamp my goat first, and then I'm going to mask him, and then I'm going to stamp the fence around it. So I'm going to show you when I do that. When I make a mask, here's the mask that I used. You can see the goat looks like he's been in jail. He's got stripes on him. So I take a Post-it note, and here's the sticky part, right? So I'm going to stamp my image on top of the Post-it note. So I'm going to ink this guy up really good. There we go. And because this side of it has a little more fullness, you know, this I'm going to be cutting out, I want that along the edge that's going to be sticky here. So I'm going to stamp my goat there. And then I am going to cut this out. Now, when you cut out to make a mask, what you want to do is cut inside the stamped line. So I'm cutting off the black line because that's so that I get it nice and close. If I do that, when I stamp my images, I'm not going to have, sometimes you'll see when there's masking, you'll have a little white line or something where it didn't stamp completely. This is the secret to that. You want to cut inside the black line on your mask. So you can see where I'm cutting this out, the black is on, you know, on the part that's going to be going away. So there you go. That's so here you can see my little goat. Most of the black is cut away from around him, and that's what I'll use again. So that's how you make a mask. I'm going to use this guy again. So I'm going to get my little goat over here. I'm going to stamp him. So I want him in the forefront, so he's going to get stamped first. I'm going to ink him up with, I'm going to use blends to color him in. So I'm going to ink him up with my Memento ink and stamp him right about here. There we go. Give him a good press. Ta-da, there's my little man. And then I'm going to take my mask and put it right over my goat, like that. So the black line will be showing around the goat. Now I'm going to stamp my gate. I love that it's the right size. This made me so happy. I was like, I like to combine stamp sets. I mean, it just gives us more versatility. So if we can combine them, and this is the perfect size. I have to line this up because, you know, that's what I do. Okay, and what I'm doing is I'm lining up the bottom of the gate with the bottom of the goat with his feet here. So I'm going to go just like this. Get my little, hopefully I have this straight. I kind of didn't look straight on. It looks like a real mess, right? It looks like a mess first, but it's going to look okay when we're all done. And then I'm going to go along here with my other little fence piece. There's 2 posts here. So I just keep going along, stamping right over my mask and lining up the bottom till I get to the end. And again on this side, same thing. Ta-da. There we go. Ta-da. So it looks kind of messy, but that's how it looks. And then you take this off, and there's my little goat standing in front of the fence. See that? Now he's in front of the fence. Ta-da! And so then you just have to color it in. So I did my blends. I used real red for my fence post, and I won't color all that today, but I colored all that in. I could. Let's go ahead. Should I do it? This goes really fast. So I just colored this in really quickly. All my little fences. I decided red was a great color. I wanted a really happy, bright card, and I thought, perfect. This is just perfect. A nice red fence to set inside. And my goat, I think I did in crumb cake. I think I used crumb cake and soft suede for my goat. So I had to remember where I have to color around my little goat on these areas. Here's his little leg, goes on either side of his little leg. Here's another one. So you just kind of pay attention to where you stamped and where this is going to be behind the goat here, because you want it all to show through there. And I have my little flower. And the other thing I thought was so fun with this whole idea is that my little goat is eating a daisy, and the Grace's Garden Flowers has that same daisy. So really fun. So you see how it kind of comes to light when you keep coloring in all the way around your goat. I got your goat. I got your goat. Here we go. So if, and it's lined up perfectly. So I don't have that white line like you get sometimes when you do masking. So remember, when you're making your mask, cut the inside of the black line. Because then your stamping image, because you're stamping over something that's kind of popped up, sometimes you'll get that white line in between so that they're not touching. I wanted all that to be touching so it really looked like my goat was right in front of my gate here. I keep turning this around. Do you guys do that when you color? I kind of just move it around constantly. So there we go. Ta-da, ta-da. This would be something to do easy. Get them all stamped and then sit in front of the TV, or put on a good book. That's what I do. My book's on tape, and then I can just sit down here and time flies. Before I know it, I have some projects done and I'm ready to go. There we go. Without having to worry about too much coloring. At least this is just straight lines, right? So it's pretty fast. Now I could add with my marker some lines here, but to mimic where it's hooked together, but I'm just going to leave it because I am going to have flowers over there. So all my flowers are on this side of the fence. Ta-da! There we go. So now what I did to color in the sky is that I got these makeup brushes. Very inexpensive, a set of makeup brushes. I put what color I have, I kind of tape it on there. You can wash them, I guess, and reuse them, but I use a lot of the same color so much that's how I did the sky, so that it looked sort of like clouds. I feel like I got a little more control than if I'm doing just a little dauber. So I just kind of tap it on, and I always brush it off a little bit, and then I just go on and brush around my little character here. And I can brush down right over the fence and color right over my red, because you can't see, but I need to have that kind of blue in there. And then I took my shaded spruce, I should have left that open because I'm going to use that for the words. I used my shaded spruce dauber, and that is in the regionals. Let me get that out. I forgot to pull that out for you. Shaded spruce. And I think I had enough green on here that I just kind of ran along the edge like this and up a little bit so it looked like the greenery is on the other side of the fence, right? Not to go over my little goat feet. There we go. Just like that. And then I've got them all colored in. So it looks sort of like clouds. So it's not completely covered. I just have enough so that I have some blue sky and some clouds. So I used my crumb cake blends. So let me pull those out here. Let's see if I can find the right ones. Yep. Light and dark. And I used ivory for his face. So I used 3 colors on here, plus his horns are the dark soft suede, which I already have out here. So here's my ivory. I started with his little face here and just went around. Remember, the first time I did this, I thought the little goat's beard was, I thought it was a leaf for the flower, but I think it's supposed to be the goat's beard. So there, and then I went with my light crumb cake. Because I'm going over a lot of area, I'm going to use the paintbrush tip, and it goes pretty fast. I just sort of wisped it along here, wispy, there, along there, along his little spindly legs here. There we go. I have a cat here that's following me around here. Just like that. Then I took the dark crumb cake, and then that's where I put all these lines where Stampin' Up! Showed us where there's some shading, right? And I just kind of follow those lines a little bit with my crumb cake and sort of along the edges just to give them some shape. There, like that. There we go. And if you want to go over it again, you can go over it again to blend those lines. I'll let it dry and see how it looks. The horns, I used soft suede here. The horns and the hoofs, I used a little soft suede on. So I'm going to go down here and color in his little hooves. There we go. Is that right there? Oh, I guess I have the bottom of I have that one bottom of that gate here. There we go. And then I use the dark up on his little hair here. Dark crumb cake. And on his little beard. There. Ta-da! There's my cute little guy. The flower, of course, is my favorite, Mango Melody. The dark I use because this is so little. I wanted it to be vibrant. There we go. Fast. Now, I already did the flowers ahead of time. The fun thing was that the Grace's Garden flowers that are going to be glued here around it have the same little daisy. So I thought, well, that's perfect. That is meant to be. So the big flowers I just glued into the background here. And then the little flowers I'm going to pop up on dimensional. So let's do that. Put this guy here. So it can go off the edge just a little bit. I like when it kind of goes out of the picture, right? A little bit of green glue here. Out of the picture a little bit. I'm going to line this up with black in the background. I just thought it made it a little bit bolder. And here's my little, now I need my pickup tool. Here's my little flowers here. I'm just going to bring them over here. That's my pickup tool. This putty, I use this all the time. There we go. Let's put some tiny little dimensionals on here. Let's see here. Here we go. Tip this over. Just put a couple on each of them. And then I'll put that on the front of my card. And it's pretty fast. There. I love to do the masking. So, you know, there's so many different things. We have so many cute little animal sets. They can all be like piled up on top of each other. You're going to have all the little animals all over the place. So let's put this on here. I'm going to put one here. I'm going to put one further over. So this is where our little goat was eating, picking all of our daisies here. There. So those are in the forefront. He's in the background, and the far back is our little, there we go. Ta-da! Cute! Now watch it come to life when you put this black behind it. It just kind of pops it. And then with the flowers sort of going out of the picture, it just brings it up a little bit more. Now remember, so this is just ink and blends. I didn't put any ribbon or any other embellishments or anything on here. So it's really a fun little card to make, and it's not, you know, it's pretty cost effective, right? I'm not adding a lot of extra cost on there. And I have my little happy birthday here. Let's knock on wood and see if we can stamp this straight. I'm using my Pacific Point because I wanted to pull out that color that I used on the sky, right? So the happy birthday set, the birds are from the Itty Bitty Birthdays. So let's see here if I can get this straight. I'm gonna line that up, give it a good press. Oh, yay, yay, it worked. That's always a good thing. I'm gonna flag it, so I'm gonna cut it down the center and then just cut it up to the center cut from the point, from the corners. We're gonna put some dimensionals on here. This little piece is 1/2 inch by like 2.5 or something like that. So 1/2 inch gives it a nice size that it's easy enough to get your words on there. Here we go. I'm going to put this all the way to the edge here. Did I get it straight? Let's hope so. There we go. Ta-da! We'll put it on our card front. And again, putting it on that red card front will make it just pop. Pulls out the fence. And it's a happy card. There we go. kind of Crayola colors, right? I'm just giving it a good press. Ta-da! What do you think? I love this goat. The inside, I have to put something, right? So I'm going to put, I have happy birthday. Where did I put? Oh, here. Let's celebrate you is what I put in the inside. There we go. I have to straighten that out. Hopefully, when I'm looking at an angle, I'm getting it kind of straight. And then I decided on the inside I should just add a few more flowers. So I picked the bigger spray of flowers here. So we had a number of different colors. So I'm just going to ink that up real quick. Let's see here. Put it down here. There we go. Cover this up before I wear it. I can do that easily. Here's my mango melody for those little flowers that my goat was eating. I'll just quick scribble those in. Coloring that. This one, they're big enough that they had centers, so I used my soft suede, dark soft suede for the centers of sort of like a, is that a black-eyed Susan? Right, that looks sort of brown. And then I used the balmy blue here, and I just kind of colored this in for these little blue. Is that a delphinium? Is that a delphinium that kind of grows tall like that? And I went with my shaded spruce, one of my favorite greens that we have. And this is just kind of quick slop, kind of color in here and there. They have some leaves here. Went along the stems a little bit, and then just kind of, it's kind of undefined, right? A little greenery. So I'm just coloring that in. There, ta-da. Put it on the black. Here we go. Ta-da. I have to turn it sideways. That way I can get a good look at 3 sides at least, and try to get this down there straight. Notice I'm not rubbing over what I just stamped. I'm just kind of pressing it just in case there's a little bit of wet. It dries very quickly, the ink, but just in case, I kind of give it a press versus rubbing it. And we'll put this inside, and we have a card all done. I could have gone with the blue and kind of added some more in here, but we just, we'll leave it like this. So there we go. Happy birthday. Let's celebrate you. Have a goat today. So that's our card. Hope you like it. Here's our beautiful Ornate Dies that we looked at today. Hope you've got some good tips for using that. I do have another tip when I'm doing some of the flowers, some of the dies that have flowers, and I want to keep that, and I want to do some paper piecing. We've done that before, but I can certainly do that. Perhaps I'll do that on Friday and show you some paper piecing using some of the fancier dies and using press and seal. That's my other favorite thing to use in my stamping room, not in the kitchen. So I'm going to turn this around. I know, I love the goat. I love the goat too. It's so cute. There we go. Okay. Hello, I'm back. So, all right. Thank you so much. Colleen, thank you for the idea. If anybody else has any ideas, I'm happy to kind of, at the spur of the moment, just kind of try to put something together if it's useful, and see what we can come up with together and what you'd like to see. So thank you so much for joining me. Y'all have a great week. Take care of everybody. Take care of each other. And I will see you Friday. And I'm sure it'll be around 2 o'clock too. Follow up Friday at 2. See you then. Bye-bye.